All right, so in this video, we are going to go over some different exercises that you can try out at home and also some food for thought, things that I think are important for any of us to consider before we jump in and make the investment of time and money and try our hand at sewing our own clothes. So first up is the question, what is your motivation for sewing or for wanting to sew your own garments? So is it for a lot of us, it's often because the clothes that we find in the store, ready to wear stuff, often doesn't fit us. Or maybe you just don't like the style or the fit, or based on your height. The clothes don't fit you the way you want them to, or the waistline doesn't fall where you like it to. So ask yourself these questions. Why is it that you're either intrigued or excited about learning how to make your own clothes? Now, for me, it's because I like to sew. I can find clothes in the store that fit me fine because I have a really practical lifestyle, right? I live on a homestead. My wardrobe consists of jeans, leggings, and t-shirts. That's really it. I have no fancy events or, business meetings or things that I need to go to all dressed up fancy. I gave up those clothes a long time ago, okay? So for me, I hate shopping, and I would say it's a toss-up between I love sewing, I like being challenged, right? And I hate shopping. So I most definitely, hands down, would rather spend days in my sewing studio making myself something that I could easily go to the store and buy. Something as simple as a t-shirt, right? Not very fitted. All sizes fit all sizes. You can find one in your size. I would rather be in my sewing room sewing it than going to buy it because I hate shopping that much. So that's for me. For you, you need to ask yourself, what is the motivation behind wanting to learn how to make your own clothes? Is it because you want to be challenged and you want to create these one-of-a-kind, very unique garments and pieces? I know some people that just sew one-off garments. So like this one funky jacket that they want to have in their wardrobe, or one special occasion dress that they want to have. For me, I'm a little more practical than that. I need to have stuff that I can wear over and over and over again, okay? Whether it's a pair of leggings that I'm gonna wear out until, I have holes in my knees. That's how I like to wear my clothes. And that's the kind of things that I gravitate towards. So if you're someone who likes to wear a different outfit every single day, think about those things also. If you don't like to repeat an outfit, you don't like to go somewhere and see somebody else wearing your same outfit, then definitely sewing your own clothes is probably gonna be for you. So when you're thinking about that, what your motivation is, ask yourself, if you're interested in sewing garments because you wanna create everyday garments, most of the things that a lot of us wear, t-shirts, jeans, pants, leggings, joggers, kind of the simple, just everyday casual things. If you're maybe a young mom and you have little kids you got to be running after. I wore the same clothes when my kids were toddlers almost every day. So you have to look at your lifestyle too and see what are you comfortable in and what types of things you want to make. Or are you wanting to get into garment sewing because you want to make these, amazing, elaborate, very complex type one of a piece or one of a kind type of pieces, okay? So ask yourself that question and maybe take a little time to jot down some notes on that and your answers. Now, aside from your motivation, once you decide, yes, this is something that I definitely want to get into, I want to learn how to make my own clothes for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong answer, right? These are just exercises that I want you to stop and think about so you kind of see what the motivation is behind it and kind of start to gauge, how much time, effort, and money you want to start putting into this, okay? So next up is understanding what types of garments you want to make. So say you've come to the conclusion like, yep, the ready-to-wear clothes that I find in the store don't fit me. I definitely want to make my own clothes, and I want to make them just like these favorite, 3 to 5 garments that you have in your closet. This is actually a great exercise to do before you start choosing patterns, fabrics, and actually deciding on what the projects are that you're going to start off making. So what I would like for you to do before we continue with this video series is to go into your closet or your drawers and pull out maybe 3 to 5 garments that are your absolute favorite, that if it was up to you, you'd wear them every day. Things that you love the way they fit your body, you love the way that you feel when you're wearing it, and they're comfortable, things like that, okay? What is your favorite things to wear from your closet or your wardrobe? Now, when you look at these items, kind of lay them out and have a look and see what do they have in common, where do they differ? What are some of the lines or the silhouettes of it? If you see that you pulled out 3 tops and 2 pairs of pants, look at those 3 tops and see, are they all tunic length? Are they all fitted at the waistline? Are they all long sleeved, right? Things like that that you want to be looking at, because you know these are the things that I prefer to wear on my body. Those are probably going to be the things that you also want to make, right? So for me, my wardrobe is mostly jeans, leggings, t-shirts, and long tunic type of tops, right? Like longer tunic tops, aside from, my dirty little farm clothes. But I know that I like to wear pants most of the time. I maybe have a couple of pairs of shorts, and I've made them all pretty much, but mostly pants, at least 3/4 length, maybe capri length or longer, and t-shirts that at least go to my lower hip line. That's like standard for me, right? So if I know that those are the majority of the things that I like to wear, you're probably not going to find me starting off with a project that is a fitted, woven, button-down shirt. Like, I don't wear those kinds of tops, really. Maybe for an occasion here or there, I make a specialty top that has some fun sleeves or a different neckline. You get the idea? Every once in a while here and there. But if it's not something that I know is basically tried and true to my lifestyle, my style in general of dressing, and my comfort level, then you're probably not going to be that motivated to go through the hassle of fitting the pattern, cutting the pattern, finding the fabric, matching the thread, and going through the entire mission of trying out a garment for your first or probably one of the earlier times of you making clothes, right? So look at those top garments, have a look at some similarities and differences, and take some notes down on the style, the length of both the top or the dress, the sleeves themselves, the pants. Just jot down some notes on what these garments look like. Maybe if you see that you pull 5 things out and they all have stretch knit fabric, then you probably are going to want to start off with a stretch knit, because you like them. They probably feel comfortable on your body, and they're probably the clothes that fit you the best because they have that give to them over ready to wear woven clothes, which is the case for me personally. Now, I know we're talking a little bit about clothes and the actual garments, but it's very important, I think, in my experience, both as a garment sewer and as an instructor, that you really be comfortable with your body, right? You may be working out, you may think you need to lose a little bit of weight, you may think you need to gain weight. That stuff is all fine and great. But without jumping into the whole world of body image, when you're working on a pattern and you're creating something to fit your 3-dimensional body with all the angles and measurements and lines and things, you have to be okay with what the tape measure is telling you that the body measures. Does that make sense? So in the previous video, I talked a little bit about patterns and how there's no set standard for sizing. So every pattern company, whether it's a commercial pattern company or an independent pattern company, they all have their own sizing scale. It's usually on the back of the pattern, inside the back flap, and sometimes for the indie designers, you can find it on their website. Now, because each pattern company grades differently based on who the sample, like what is the one size, height, and shape of a body that they designed for, and then they grade the sizes up and grade the sizes down from that model, body, or figure, okay? So I would do some research on the pattern company. You typically can find it. If not, you can just call them up if they have a phone number or an email and ask them what height, what size and shape and dimensions they design their patterns to be. So some will tell you we draft for a 5'5" B cup. So if you're not 5'5" in a B cup, you're probably going to have to make some adjustments. Now, that's not always the case. I've used patterns before from companies who draft for a 5'5" B cup, and sometimes I make the pants and I'm 5'8", and I don't have to make any specific adjustments because I'm okay with where it falls on my body. So it's a lot of things that you have to keep in mind, but you have to be okay with the measurements, okay? We're taking actual measurements using measuring tapes, and the numbers don't lie. They're telling you exactly what the pattern needs to measure, what the fabric needs to be cut out to, and what you need to basically adjust those pieces of fabric to have them fit a body with those specific measurements. So for those of you that are new to making clothes, I know it's going to be hard, and it's still hard for some of us that have been doing it for years and years, is try not to get hung up on the actual size that the pattern requires you to cut out and sew up, okay? In one company, you may be a size 6, in another you might be a size 12, and in another you might be a 2X, in another you might be a 20. Every pattern company is going to have their own specific sizing scale that they designed from and to based on how they're grading it, okay? So don't get hung up on the pattern, and I'm going to tell you that a million times. Don't get hung up on the pattern size. What we're aiming towards is to create garments that are comfortable and that actually fit our body. The only person that's going to know the size is you, because you need to cut out the pattern and the fabric. So at the end of the day, no matter what the size tells you that you are, if you end up with a nice, well-fitting and comfortable garment, you win. So another little exercise. We've talked already about pulling out, say, 3 to 5 of our favorite garments from our wardrobe and kind of jotting down some notes on what they have in common. Maybe the different style elements, different lengths and things like that. Just jot down what you see across the board on those favorite garments. You might be surprised to see that they all are very similar, whether in size and shape, in the length of the sleeves, or even in the fabric type that they're all made of. So after that, I want you to try another exercise. I want you to jot down your 3 biggest complaints about ready-to-wear garments, right? Things like, I'll give you some examples of mine. Pants. I never ever buy or wear or even make woven pants. Now wovens, when I talk wovens, I'm talking about fabrics that have no stretch, right? Why? Between my waist and my hips is a 12-inch difference, okay? So typically, if I find a pair of pants that the fabric does not stretch and I buy the size large enough to fit my hips and my thighs, by the time it's up to my waist, I'm swimming in them. No matter what kind of a belt I put on, by the time I put a belt on, it's scrunched up the fabric and it looks terrible. So woven pants, I just stay away from them because I cannot find ready-to-wear pants that have no stretch that fit my body to where it's comfortable and the way that I want them to fit. So that's for me. Now, another one for me is jeans. I wear a lot of jeans and they always, of course, have to have stretch in them because there's no way I'm going to fit into a pair of woven jeans and not have them super big at the waistline, okay? They have to have stretch. Now, there's so many cute skinny jeans on the market, and I have long legs. I have a short torso, but my hips begin so high up because I'm short-waisted that I have really long legs. But skinny jeans, if they fit, they would look amazing. But for me, at the calves, they just don't fit. They're too narrowed out for me to have my calves fit comfortably in them, even when they stretch. So at the ankles, they fit fine, but at the calves, just not working. So those are just some examples, ask yourself some questions like that. Like, what are the main things that maybe you stay away from, that you never buy? Another one for me is most of my clothes have to have some type of stretch in them, some spandex, some lycra, but they just need to bounce because my body is a little too curvy to be rocking woven garments that I haven't made and fit myself because my dimensions just aren't typical. They're not just standard to what ready to wear or even standard patterns are made to fit, right? So actually, I'm going to leave you guys here with an example of a dress that I made recently for a wedding. I tried it out. It was my first time creating this pattern. It's from Seamwork magazine and it's called the Georgia Shift Dress. Now, if you know what a shift dress is, it has no shape. It's literally like boom. And for me, those are things that I stay away from because of the big difference in my waist to my hips. So if it's a shift dress, I'm going off of the widest measurement on my body and it needs to fit around my hips. Well, what happens is that at my narrow waist, you don't see the narrow waist. You just see an elongated dress that's as wide as my hips. So I don't feel comfortable wearing those type of dresses because I don't like the way that it makes my body look. So these are the types of exercises I want you to walk through. And so I thought it'd be good for you to see this dress, the difference that a quick tweak makes to it when you know and understand your body, your shape of your body, and what makes you comfortable when you have it on your body. So have a look at this video and leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. Yes, much better. See how it's cinched in at the waist? I like it. Now to hem it, and then I'm done. So do you see what a massive difference a little piece of elastic made at the back waistline of that dress? I mean, it really is night and day. Without it, I could not have worn that to a wedding. I would not have felt comfortable, because it's not, I know that I'm very high-waisted, okay? And I know that my waist is quite narrow for the overall shape of my body. So I always will try to make and find garments that cinch me up somehow, some way at the waistline to give me more of an hourglass shape. And so that little change by adding the elastic to the back waistband it did exactly what I wanted it to do. To the point where, I loved being in that dress. It was comfy because it was loose. It was a rayon challis fabric that I used, but it still had that little cinch in at the waist that made me feel kind of, a little bit more night on the town type of outfit. So I just wanted to show you that as an example of little things that you can do to take those garments up a notch or to kind of make them fit your style, your comfort level, and your lifestyle a little bit more. All right, so that is it for now. Try out my little exercises, pull out some of your favorite garments, jot down notes and see what things you like about them, and your top 3 complaints about ready-to-wear garments. The combination of those 2 exercises is going to give you a good idea of where you need to start with your garment sewing journey. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit it with the thumbs up below. Share it across the different social media sites and feel free to share it with any friends you think might be interested. Go ahead and do those exercises. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about my little hack to the Georgia dress. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.